Aloha and welcome to Live at the Legislature. I'm Jill Kuramoto. Every week we sit down with Hawaii senators to talk about the events and the issues that are happening within the Senate during this legislative session. And this morning we are joined by Senator Mike Gabbard. Senator Gabbard represents District 20, which encompasses Kapolei to Makakilo to Kunia. And Senator Gabbard is the chair of the Senate Committee on Agriculture and Environment. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Jill. Thank you for having me.
I know there's a lot of critically important bills and resolutions that have come out of your committee this session. Let's get right into it. Let's start talking about some of these and their impact on the state.
Sure.
First of all, there's a number of measures that address the protection of animal species. One of them, Senate Bill 2078, calls for the research into the pueo, the Hawaiian short-eared owl. And there's also Senate Bill 2079, which protects sharks and manta rays. Tell us about the need for this.
You know, Jill, on the pueo, I first became aware of this issue, potential problem in my district out in West Oahu. Some community members had taken some video of the pueo, and there was some concern that the developed second city coming up out there was going to wreak havoc on the habitat for pueo habitats, et cetera. So anyway, I thought, well, why not get everybody together in a town hall meeting? And so we had one in August of 2016 at UH West Oahu. And we found that, in fact, pueo is an endangered species on Oahu, and that very little research had been done since statehood on the pueo. So we got UH in there, DLNR, Department of Land and Natural Resources, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services, and community members, just to start talking about what can we do, is this a problem? And so as a result of that town hall meeting in 2017, we passed Senate Resolution 6, which asked DLNR to do a study. And so the interim report from that study came out in October of last year. The final one is coming out in a couple months in June, and that'll be like the baseline for what to do from here. So this particular SB 2078, it asked for about $300,000 in appropriations to help DLNR in collaboration with CTAR to do a 2-year study of the foraging and breeding, all things that have to do with pueo, so we can say, okay, here's the plan of action. So actually that one is in the third reading in front of the whole House will happen on, most likely on April 10th.
Okay, coming up. And then sharks and manta rays.
It was 2010 when shark fins were banned. The taking of shark fins were banned here in Hawaii, and also manta rays. And the problem is that you could still take the whole shark. So what this bill, 2079, says, you cannot capture, kill whole sharks. And also it expands not just manta rays, but all rays. And the penalties, it's a misdemeanor. First offense is $500, second offense $2,000 fine, third and subsequent offense $10,000. So this has to do with our ocean ecosystems, and there's a decline in the shark population. DLNR is saying they can't do their job because the existing law does not prevent people from just, you know. So anyway, and the other thing with the banning of the shark fins, they found that manta ray gill soup started showing up in restaurants. And so what this does, it expands to all rays, not just manta rays. Yeah.
Okay, well, in terms of agriculture, Senate Bill 2116 creates a Biosecurity Emergency Response Special Fund. Tell us about the need for this.
Okay, right now, you know, when you live in paradise, you want to keep the invasive species, the critters and the plants out of here. And right now, there's no special fund for emergencies. One of the things that we always talk about is the brown tree snake from Guam, right? So this would basically make it so that DLNR could request the governor to declare an emergency on a particular species, and then boom, we could start like that. Now, I'm not saying that this would have made a difference in terms of coqui frogs or little fire ants, But they really need the tools to be able to do this when something like this happens. Hopefully it won't happen, but just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
It's good to have. All right, well, addressing Hawaii's commitment to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels, I know you introduced Senate Bill 2122, which creates or encourages the use of electric vehicles, but it also limits the exceptions for free parking for EVs. So how does this strike a balance between those who have EVs and those who don't?
Well, as an EV owner, I can speak firsthand to this. 2012 is when, and our whole movement away from fossil fuels, the whole idea was to attract people into getting away from their gas guzzling vehicles into EVs. And so what the law that we passed in 2012 said that you can park your EV in state and county parking, whether it's a parking meter or parking structures, for free. And also for free at the airport. For 24 hours. Well, the Department of Transportation came out and said they could not enforce the 24-hour parking thing at the airport because the AG's office said it was not defensible in court. And so I think DOT came out with a figure that $2.5 million that would have gone in the state coffers, EV, that's what had EV owners been paying, that's what they were saving, right? And so what this does, it beefs it up and just says the 24-hour rule will be enforced. And a good example of this is I was talking to an EV owner, and she said, oh yeah, I took my vacation. I parked out at the airport and parked my Leaf out there, and I went over to Arizona for 2 weeks, came back, and it was really cool. I didn't have to pay my... And I said, because she had heard that the 24-hour rule was not being enforced. So,
okay.
So this is going to fix that.
All right, well, we're running out of time here, but I know that you wanted to talk about hemp.
Yep.
Hemp. Hemp is happening.
Hemp is happening. The bill, I think it's 2556, right? It sets up a special fund. The whole hemp story here is just amazing. 1999, it was December 14th when Governor Cayetano proclaimed that day as Industrial Hemp Day for Hawaii. And so things just kind of fell asleep for 15 years. And so 2014, I introduced a bill, 2016 and 2017, that set up a pilot program. And it's over 25,000 products are made from industrial hemp. And for the viewers out there, just because it is a cousin of marijuana, but you cannot get high on industrial hemp. But these products, a guy a former NBA coach on Maui, he built his house out of hempcrete instead of concrete. And there's clothing, and so my vision for this has been a cottage industry with the Hawaii branding. Hawaiian hemp shampoo, Hawaiian hemp granola, Hawaiian hemp aloha shirts, right? And so I think this is going to be a real boon for our economy, for our farmers. I know the Hawaii Farmers Union, they did a survey of their farmers. Over 100 farmers said, get us the seed, we want to put it in the ground. So where it is right now is that they've been, there were 3 contractors that have planted the locally acclimated seed. I'm not sure, the plants are about 5 or 6 feet tall is what I'm told. They're going to be harvesting it soon. And as soon as that happens, that local seed will be available to farmers to buy the seed and start planting hemp.
All right, so stay tuned.
Yes.
It's still happening. All right, thank you, Senator Gabbard.
Yes.
And thank you for watching Live at the Legislature. We'll see you next week.